All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's stand-up. You know what it is. Today's date is February 3rd, 2020. We have a special guest today with us, this little girl, Winnie Sue Tepster-Tom, my youngest daughter. Mommy's giving the other daughter a bath, so we have this lovely little guest with us here. I should close this so we need some peace and quiet. Just waiting for the crew to show up. All right, Winnie girl. Today, what are we talking about? Today, we're going to be talking about the Hacker Rank Challenge and how that went. We're also going to talk about, oh, look, there's Catherine. Can you say hi to Catherine?
Hi.
Mommy is giving Lucy a bath, so gotta hold on to the younger one here.
Oh, cute. Cute.
You say hi, this is Jade. Say hi, Jade. Wave your arm.
Oh, the bunny rabbit. He's so adorable.
Yeah. This one has bigger cheeks than the other one. The other, look, she's got the little bald spot in the back. My little Baldy. Come on, Baldy. You got a lot of hair everywhere else, huh? Yeah. We'll just wait for the rest of the gang here. So, that Hacker Rank Challenge, huh?
Yeah, I failed. I have to do it again.
It's all right. I've failed it multiple times, so. Louise, Mr. Guzman, the TL.
Hey.
Say hi to Mr. Louise.
I'm on my phone and it may die soon.
No problem. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. Obeda and Bryant. Oh, so this morning Bryant had a poop explosion. Not Bryant, his son did. Sorry. And I was like, oh man, that must really suck. And then as I was in the CS part-time 6 meeting with Tani, who's actually going to be a TL with me and part-time, like I had to disrupt that meeting. Like, hey guys, I have to go. This one just had poop like coming out like the whole right side of her leg all the way down. God. And then my wife took off the diaper and all that, and it just flung everywhere. It was like all over the crib and like the changing area, and it was, oh man. Yeah, y'all, I'll spare y'all the details on that. Luis knows what's up though.
Oh, I mean, all parents have really great poop stories. So.
Yeah. Is that funny? Yeah, the poop stories. Are the poop stories funny? Oh, beta. Just waiting for Mr. Bryant now. Beta.
Oh, Catherine, I ended up in a team with Obeda.
Amazing. Oh my God.
It all worked out.
I was like freaking out and like, I was just, everyone was like, whatever. And I was like, I don't know how. I don't like Steve to like, I was just like, it was like the worst position. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
I think it was because like there's a max of 4 people on a team, right? Is that what they said?
Yeah. And we like reached out to like get an exception and everything. And they said that they would just like tear us apart randomly, like if we didn't decrease. And just because I had asked Jade to, like, it had formed and I had asked Jade to join as the 5th, that, like, I was like, that's the only way that makes, like logical sense. And, like, I felt, like, terrible because I was like, now it's, like, Friday and Build Week's on Monday. Yeah. And everyone else has, like, formed all these teams. And now, like, I've put her in this, like, terrible position. And I was just, like, freaking out. And... but I am so happy with the beta. That makes me so happy.
All right, Jade's a big girl. Jade can handle it.
It's cool. I had other people reaching out. I was like, do you want to do a team of 2? And I was like, I'd rather do 4, but thanks. So it's cool.
Dang,
it's
cool. Must be nice to have people reach out to you. I mean, like, I think I search for people.
Yeah, it was from my old, my original TL group. We still like talk and like sometimes hang out and whatnot. So we'll always look for each other on lists to see if we've gotten into like groups, and then like watch what we do with our groups. So they all like realized I wasn't in a group anymore. They're like, "Why is your name not on there?" And they all like, "Do you want to do a team of 2?"
Oh my God, thank God.
It's cool. I have
All
people
right,
watching my back.
let's get this party started. Let's start with Mr. Luis because he was out at TL training. Let's talk about the any breakthroughs on the Hacker Rank Challenge or breakthroughs anywhere else. There you go.
I mean, nowhere else. Today was kind of just like communication, teamwork, honesty, and friendship. But
Sounds like our group. Dang.
Weird how that works. But yeah, beyond that, the hacker rank, I was like, oh, right, okay, I have to know all the stuff we learned. Weird. And then promptly failed it. So at least I think. I don't know. I didn't actually get results, but I'm pretty sure I failed. So
the bot sends us a thing. I failed. So
yeah, I got like a thing from the bot, but it didn't like give me any answers. It was just like, here's
well, if you got at least 60%, you passed.
So like, but it's
that would have been nice to know.
I can show you what my fail response looks like, and if yours is different, then you passed.
Oh, you could just like if you want, you just DM me
I
after.
don't care. Yeah, hold on.
We're a hot group, right? Humble, open, and transparent, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm really interested though. Was the hard part that like you felt like you didn't have enough time, or was it like the actual material that was on the content that was on there?
So I got on and I started like when I got up at 11. And, well, I'm Eastern, so 8 Lambda time. So I just got on and started, and then I realized I was actually supposed to be in the TL training, and I was like, oh no! So I tried doing both for a little while, and then I left the TL training because I was like, all right, I need to focus on this assessment, and it was not good. Yeah, most of the blockers I hit were just like frustration with time because I screwed up. So I figure when I take it again, I'll be able to breathe a little easier and it'll probably go better. Can I just like retake it?
Yeah. Oh, you can retake it like 10 times if you want. There's no like bearing on how many times you can take it. Did you share it in the group already, Catherine?
Yeah, I just like made it into a snippet so you could see.
Cool.
It just says web code challenge, and then it either has like I think a check mark if you passed, it's a warning sign if you failed, and a question mark if you haven't attempted something. Would be my guess. I don't know what a success would be, but this is from Matchbot.
Okay, that's from the Lambda match thing. I did get one of those, but I didn't look at it well enough, so I'll have to go back.
Yeah, but I'm not afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Thank you.
No
Don't
shame.
even be afraid. Popcorn.
Oh right, popcorn, Catherine.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, I was sick all weekend. Like Tico, I thought was his voice. I completely lost my voice, so I didn't manage to do any kind of prep or anything like that. And then I had a new roommate moving in today, so this day's been like kind of hectic. So I started the challenge at like 11:15, and like I got the Fibonacci one. Like that one, like I understood really quickly. I was completely terrified of the bracket one because it took me, I would say, at least 45 minutes of just like looking at the problem to figuring out like what's it. The way it was worded was really confusing to me, and I have trouble with like some sorts of comprehension. So I got like half of those tests to pass, but those stupid pipes. And then the linked list one was probably like the easiest one, but the thing with like the reference data, whatever, like that, I never seen that in JavaScript. And so like I Googled that and it's like C#. And I was like, I don't understand. Do I have to like instantiate a linked list and pass like, it was just like, and then I've never used, normally I'll put like my hackering stuff in a replit, but for that one I couldn't. So then I had to figure out how to console log in HackerRank. So that took me a second. And then I started solving the problem. I thought I was like, okay, I'm deleting that value. But I didn't know that wasn't the value. They didn't want you to delete the value. You wanted to delete the value at that index. It was too late. And then I ran out of time with that one. So it was just, yeah. And then the sorting one, I got like 3 out of, I had a timeout error with one. So I was passing 3 out of 5 tests, but then I had a timeout error. So I was just like, but I was like really close.
Who was it that said that if you have too many console.log statements in HackerRank, like it actually time out your function?
Well, that wasn't the linked list one. So that one was a timing out. It was my sorting one that had a timeout because I had the nested loops instead of doing. I was trying to do a brute force solution, and then, yeah. So gotcha. I don't know, but I think like because we've been doing the Project Eulers, I think I'm not. I don't know. I felt more prepared in it than I thought I would be. But I think a lot, like I lost a lot of time. I spent like over a half an hour debugging and I had a spelling error. I spelled length wrong in my sorting one. And I was like, oh my God, because it kept getting like undefined. I was like, wow, that's not even possible. How can that be undefined? And it took me forever to see that I'd spelled length wrong in the inner for loop. So like stuff like that, like definitely cost me a lot of time because I can't spell or type apparently. So yeah, that's my day. Popcorn, popcorn Jade.
So HackerRank Fibonacci actually, I mean, it took me a long, I think a lot of it was dealing with HackerRank and understanding what they were asking because it was so wordy. So like breaking down and like parsing away all the like extra verbiage they had was what took me so long. So Fibonacci, because we've gone over it a couple times, that was helpful. The second one, I think that was the bracket one. I had actually worked on a coding challenge that had something similar. So I was able to kind of like pull up what I did in a previous coding challenge to help me with that. So I felt bad for doing it at first. I was like, I just got to get this done. But so I got all the tests to pass except for one because the stupid pipes like have this stupid, you can't tell which one's closing, which one's ending. And so even though there's that one test where it had like the pipes, like 2 pipes bracketing like one of the brackets, it wouldn't read it. So I tried a couple different things, and that actually, I took too long on that. So then I went to the linked list. That one, I had a hard time switching from Python over to JavaScript. So I kind of passed that one and went on to the last one, which I got some of the tests to pass. I think there was like 2 tests I couldn't get it to pass on. And then I went back to the linked list, but because I took so long on the first and second, well, mostly the second one, I kind of ran out of time. So I know that one, I just kind of threw some code together and submitted it.
Yo, I'm low-key upset that they told you guys that you could do whatever programming language you wanted. And then you walked in there, like came in like, I'm about to hit this Python real quick. And you're like,
yeah.
Well, what's this JS?
Roll, yeah.
Why is this JS? Wait, nobody told me this was JS, but why is it JS? And you're like, am I in the right room? Did I come to the right place? This is a virtual room, right? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was grimy. They should have at least told you guys that you had to do Python.
Python's easier, I feel like, with these kind of things.
With some, yeah, they are, especially with like the node list, like trying to figure out. And then what Catherine was saying about like, do I need to create my own? Because with Udemy, I went over that, and you like created the actual linked list, and then that's how you're able to pull like your delete and your add and stuff. So like trying to figure that out, with the Python on top of that, it was kind of hard to figure out. And then all the console logs, like she was right, you can't pull it into Replit to kind of play with it separately from HackerRank and then like bring it back in. So that one was the most difficult for me out of all of them because of that. So yeah, that's my day. Obeda, I think you're next.
Yeah, I was really pissed today. I hopped in and it was only JavaScript. So I messaged the lady and she just didn't respond to me. Jessica, I think it was.
Because she knew she messed up.
Yeah, because she's the one that said we can use Python. So I came in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes in, she hadn't responded to me, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I should probably start working on this. Yeah. I spent so much time just trying to relearn JavaScript, to be honest. I forgot, like, there's some errors where I was doing for I in, and it's like, no, you need to put parentheses. And then, like, the last one really pissed me off. I kept trying to do not in, and it doesn't work. And I just use, like, because you're supposed to, like, do the array of arrays. And I was trying to make sure there's no duplicates because I was getting the numbers, right? It was like 3 numbers, but you can't have duplicates. I'd get, like, 6 of the same number, 6 of the same arrays. I couldn't remove the duplicates. Like a lot of the stuff that you have in Python, you don't have in JavaScript. At least I couldn't find them. Yeah. So I was all types of mad today. Yeah.
Isn't that funny how, like, I mean, I guess the real kicker is that no matter what show, like, in a real interview, they may just switch it up on you like that. So, I mean, it's nice to be able to go through that anxiety at least once, right? Like, then you go to a real interview and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, hey, we decided that you can't do it in Java or in Python. You have to do it in JavaScript because you're applying for a JavaScript position. Like, you, like, yeah, I did that before. Yeah, like, my school switched it up on me last minute too, so.
I just feel like the last one I spent an hour on, and I spent an hour and 20 minutes probably. That was like, I didn't solve it. I think if it was in like just JavaScript, I don't know if anyone here solved it. I'd love to see your solution. The last one?
Which one was that? I don't remember the order.
That's the one where you have an array of numbers. So let's say it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you had a target. So the sum had to be 8. So you wanted to get 3 numbers that essentially add up together that equal the target number.
3-number sum?
Is
that? Yeah. It's called 3-number sum.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And the problem is I did 3 for loops and I think I spelled something wrong. And so I took out the third for loop and I redid everything. And then towards the end, after like I had 20 minutes left, I realized that I removed the third, like I realized I spelled things wrong, but it was working nonetheless, but I was getting like duplicates because I did like 2 for loops and I said, if they minus 30 minus this, if it's in the array, then do all 3 of them, right? But what you're going to end up doing is you're going to get 3 of the same exact numbers, just in different orders. Anyways, so long story short, like I was just getting this array of arrays that had the same array inside of it, but like just looked different. And I just couldn't remove the duplicates. I was really mad. I messaged Tico right after.
Yeah, I messaged the SL, ask if you can get a link for a retake or whatever. He hasn't responded back to me yet.
So I passed though because I think Catherine's saying if you pass. I mean, I got the message that I passed, but I didn't finish the last one. So I don't know.
At least 60% you pass. So
of 60% of each one, or just overall?
Of the whole point system.
Overall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a heads up, because I was talking to my labs TL, and he just finished the coding interview. He said coding interview, they do go over your code for the hacker rank. So you're supposed to talk about it. And he said because his interview was 2 weeks afterwards, they're like, so talk about your code and how you went through it. And he's like, so just be prepared if you remember what you did. I didn't write any comments, unfortunately, so.
Yeah, you guys should, next time you take it, just copy and paste it into a VS Code or to your own file.
So how do I get the interview? How do we get the interview now? How does that work?
They'll set it up for us for all the interviews in the first 2 weeks of endorsement next week.
So not this week, next week is when I do
next week. Yeah. So they may have you do the coding interview, or they may have you do the front end interview or whatever interview.
Oh, it's not all one? I thought it was all one.
There's a behavioral one too.
Excited. Okay.
Yeah. So like I asked earlier, what is more anxiety inducing to you? Is it the fact that you have a time limit because when we do our stand up like mob programming together on a Project Euler problem, there's not very much stake in it for each of us, right? We're kind of just like, all right, yeah, okay. If I don't see anything, then Jade's gonna probably hop in and say something anyway, so I'm just gonna sit here like this, or is it like the fact that, oh crap, I don't remember how to do this? Like, is it more the syntax, like the thought process? What is it that throws you off the most, other than, I guess, Python versus?
I think just for me, it's like understanding and like reading comprehension, like especially with the HackerRank. Like I like, especially with the pipes, the way things were worded, I was like, I don't understand what this is. Like me trying to just understand the problem just takes up so much time because of the way things are. Like they're not clear for me, so
what do you think are some ways that you can, I guess, expedite that process of understanding it faster?
I don't know. I think just doing more HackerRank, because that's how they're worded. Like my friend Miriam had like gone through the previous HackerRanks, and then she went through the stuff that Brady dropped this weekend. And so she's like, just do those practice problems, because it's like you just have to get used to the way HackerRank kind of words everything and does stuff. Just get better of seeing like what they're asking for.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
I think the test cases, like those edge test cases, I think they throw me off sometimes. I think it was nice that they let us see the edge cases, like, but in a lot of times they don't let you see the edge cases, and I think that's like the really difficult part, is like taking into consideration, like, oh, what if the input is 0 and like your code doesn't handle 0, like, and so you don't think about 0, and so that was like a few of them. And I think an example of that is those lines, like you consider those to be open bracket, close. Like, how do you think about those, like, whatever they call them? I don't know what they're called.
Pipes.
The pipes, yeah. I feel like that just requires, right? But like, if I hadn't seen that was going to be an issue, then like I probably wouldn't have really thought about rewriting my code to take that into consideration, right?
See, Luis says he's got to type because his daughter is sleeping. Like when HackerRank uses passed in arrays, they always say the first input of it is the size of the given input array, but you can completely ignore that input and can't access it. Use this information. Yeah, totally true. Yeah, very true. On the sample input.
But sometimes you can, though. But on this one, you couldn't. Like, I think for some of the challenges, like if you go through like LeetCode and HackerRank, they let you actually access that first thing. But like similar to Lou, I couldn't access it for this one, and it adds like a whole extra step. At least for me, for the node one, it made me do I had to do a whole while loop just to get just to get the length of the node list. I don't know about the rest of you.
Louis said same on the link list.
HackerRank is just like a beast of out of all the coding challenge links and places I've gone to, just how to work your way around to HackerRank and like figure it out is like in and of itself a challenge sometimes. So that's what took me the longest, is like dealing with HackerRank and verbiage and how to count console log and then like figure things out. It was a little difficult. So I'll probably have to go back through Brady's, what he dropped, and get used to it.
Did you guys have to deal with any standard in or standard out like that? The way that I guess Node. What? I had to look that up the first time I started working with HackerRank problems. Standard in, standard out. I guess it's the old school way of that Node does, like print statements and stuff. Still not exactly 100% clear on it. It's kind of weird. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Is it just me or okay? Like you're looking at this like STD, like what? Sexually transmitted disease? What is this? Yeah. So I would say get familiar with that part too. Last part was I just going to have Catherine go over Project Euler problem number 11. maybe we could like get the pseudocode going within 20 minutes for that problem. Looks like a pretty nifty problem.
Love a matrix.
It's a matrix.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. You want to share your screen?
I have a question, Tico. When you go over the code with them, I don't know if you did you go over your code with them after you submitted it?
I didn't do it yet.
Okay.
I've finished everything else. So like they didn't make this mandatory when I finished CS when I graduated. They only had like the behavior interviews, the front end interview, the back end interview, and I think that was it. So as soon as I passed those, they're like, okay, you're endorsed.
Okay.
And then they introduced this thing and said that we had to do it, and I was already done. So.
Oh. Can you guys hear me? Am I muted or not? I don't know.
Yeah, we hear you.
Good.
In the 20 by 20 grid below, 4 numbers along the diagonal line have been marked in red. I just put them in parentheses because it's commented out. The product of these numbers is 26, 63, 78, and 14, and it's that. What is the greatest product of 4 adjacent numbers in the same direction? Up, down, left, right, or diagonally in the 20 by 20 grid.
So let's say the clock is running, right? You're like in the same environment as you are. Like, where does your rushed and hurried mind go first?
How do I even input a 20 by 20 matrix?
Yes.
That's a good place to go and understand first. Very good place. Well, what do you know about, well, you've encountered matrices before, right?
Well, this is like the islands problem. They remind me of that.
Anybody have any ideas?
It's an array of arrays.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess, yeah.
And so like if you had an array of arrays, like let's say you wanted to access the third item in the second array, like how would you do that?
Be like
Third.
I at second array would be this one. So let's say this is 0, 1. So
Yep.
I at 1 at 3 or 2, depending on where you're indexing from. So it's just like 2 brackets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. So I mean that's good. So that like we understand that the input's going to have to be an array of arrays. We'd access it using bracket notation with zero-based indexing. But what about how would you handle something like? So we can handle obviously diagonal lines, or sorry, up like vertical numbers. That would just be
the same second index for this way, and then for that way the same X index. It's in the same array.
Mm-hmm.
But then diagonal, it would have to be, each one would have to be, the index would have to be up by 1 or off by 1. Like 1, 1.
Mm-hmm.
But that could be in either direction, which is tricky.
So would you go with a nested for loop scenario in this case as a brute force?
God.
Like just talking brute force.
Brute force, yes, even though it's not ideal, but probably the easiest way to start off with.
Let's say you went brute force, right? That first for loop is the outer for loop, and that's going to give you access to which parts of the array of arrays?
This.
Right.
Or that. It's going to just go to the one array, the first
right.
for.
How would you have to account for, it'd be the second for loop, as you're iterating through the individual items in each array? Like, how would you have to account for that? Knowing that it says here, what is the greatest product of 4 adjacent numbers, right? So let's say you're looking for 4 numbers, they're all in the same row. How would you have to account for that in terms of your length that you can be iterating through?
It's a sliding window problem. So we've done it before.
Yeah, I've done it before.
So it's a 20 by 20 grid, and each array is represented by like this row. So 0, 8 to 0, 8 is 1 row.
Say it again. 0, 8.
0, 8 is 1 array.
Yeah. Yep.
So maybe we do like a dictionary that's indexed at, for example, 0, 0. So we add. Okay. You add all if 0, 8 is the first number, and then 4 under it would be 0, 1, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 3, 0. And so we would be moving in that direction, and diagonally would be 0, 1, 1, 0, 2, 3, because you're adding 1, and then 0, 3, 4. And so we would add those all into an object with a key that represents, don't know what the key represents yet, but it has to represent something. I'm assuming like the coordinates maybe, and then we can sum up and see which of the keys has the biggest sum or something like that. I don't know if that made sense, but
how about before we go to the optimized solution, what if we stick with just the nested for loops scenario, so that way we can all like get on the same footing, and then like we just all can optimize from there. Because that way, I think that it'll be easier for us to figure out what the value is going to be in that key value pair that we're going to store in the object.
The object
dictionary.
Okay.
Would you go ahead?
Should I just do a smaller matrix to start?
Sure. Yeah.
Just like copy some of this, if I can.
Let's see. So let's try to get a better understanding of this here. Okay. So let's say, do you need to create any variables to keep track of like one variable in relation to another variable? Because anytime you're going to look for numbers that are like in a specific sequence, whether they're next to each other in like a horizontal fashion, or next to each other in a vertical fashion or diagonal fashion, essentially they're going to be like one apart in some way, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
So how could you play off of that idea and come up with your first for loop?
Sorry, I'm just trying to.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I'm just throwing out some questions out here. Oh, there's Lorelai. She woke up. Dang, she's probably gonna stay up late tonight. My wife will not let little baby go to sleep if it's already too late. She'll slap some water on that girl's face, wake her up. She is not going to sleep. My wife will have to get up super early for that. Let's see.
So we're making it an array of arrays.
Yeah, I don't know what else to do.
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
That's like the only way you're going to be able to get a sliding diagonal window.
I think this is 7 by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay.
That's perfect. then yeah, it's just X and Y coordinates at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You might even want to name name one X and one Y, or the rest Y. Ugh.
I always get so turned around by X and Y. I'm like, what makes it X and what makes it Y? Why? I mean, I know what X and Y are in like terms of directions, guys. I'm not like completely dyslexic.
No, I know it can get confusing though, because the way you think about it is, so like, this is the x-axis, it's horizontal, y-axis goes vertical, but like you're thinking in terms of the array and the items in the array, is like each item in the array, is that like a hash mark on the x-axis, or is it like,
Honestly, I frankly screw up X and Y all the time anyway. It's just like X and Y, I'm like, which one is which? But I always have to do the on my fingers. That's you.
Am I missing?
Look at your hair. Wow.
Is she eating a banana?
Yeah.
Nice.
Wait, I do another bracket here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then down here. And we'll call it 7, because it's 7 by 7.
All right, cool. So if we created a function for this, what would you use as like the input?
The input.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the input, we're inputting a matrix, aren't we, into the function?
Would that be the only input you have, or would you also need to specify like the size of that window?
Yeah.
The direction. That was one of my questions I didn't get to ask. Are they giving us like a direction variable to pass in?
No. This is just this.
Oh, so we just have to figure out all of the available directions?
Yeah, so you can,
Okay.
Which is the greatest product? Going to be this way, that way, this way, that way. So we're going to have to iterate through this matrix one time. This way. Wait, how many directions is there? 1, 3, 4. 4 times? Yeah. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4.
well, really, 4 directions, right?
Yeah.
Vertical, horizontal, diagonal down, and then diagonal up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Directions. Up, down. Wait, or I'm gonna say up and down across. Up,
You say or horizontal, vertical.
Okay, that makes more sense, yes.
And then since you read left to right, the way I thought of it in my mind was diagonal upwards. So it looks like almost like I guess a forward slash, and then diagonal downwards, be like a backslash.
What?
You spell it that way. I don't know if you spell diagonal. It's fine.
It's all good.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say like you just wanted to create a for loop to iterate through this. How would you do that?
Well, I feel like the easiest thing is to check horizontal first.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because we're just going to be like at here and then just checking to see like the greatest sum of the products of these 4 and saving that and then seeing if that's bigger here or here or here.
Yeah. Good idea. So how would we do that?
So we'll have a function. Oh, it's still doing. Oh, I did it wrong. Whoops. Sorry, guys.
Did what wrong?
I did the commenty thing.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if I did. I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. What? I don't understand. Oh.
Yeah, it's
Leave that one there. You were fine actually.
Yeah, you're right. You're okay. It should be just like a forward slash and then like a star and then a star and then forward slash.
Okay, and then I did that one. Okay. Losing my mind. Okay. So function, find her horizontal product. Takes in.
If you guys saw my brute force solution right now, you guys would laugh. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of nested for loops inside of one function right now. But it does solve the answer though. I think that was, yeah.
And you said you also wanted to pass in the length, matrix itself, and then the length, or would it be called size?
You're talking about like the size of the window or the?
You said you wanted to pass something else in. I wasn't sure. The size of the window, the 4.
Oh yeah. Like because I mean they might change. That could change, right? So you want to write your function in a dynamic way, because it could be like, okay, find the largest product of 5 adjacent numbers.
Okay. So we know that's 20 by 20, and this is 7 by 7. So can we just hard code in 7 and change it for 20 later?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what definitely we should do.
Okay.
Yeah. That Nana. Okay, so here's where you might run into a problem, right? Because since all these numbers are going to be next to each other, it's going to slide. The window's going to slide like this, right? And so if I is at the front of the window, the beginning, it's going to have to be offset when it gets to the end, right? Because the last position of the window will prevent the first position of the window from going any further once it hits the end of the array. So like if you have I going all the way to the end, those last positions of the window are going to go outside of the indices of the matrix or of the array, right?
So
So you want to subtract from whatever the length of the array is, subtract the length of your window.
So 7 minus window size.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So cute.
Okay. So what else? Would you guys need to keep track of multiple variables? Just one variable?
We'll keep track of the greatest product, so we can initialize that above the for loop.
Mm-hmm. There's 1 minute left. 1 minute. We'll have to finish it tomorrow. See, there's just not enough pressure on us between these 30 minutes. Not like when you guys are sweating during your hacker rank challenge. You still have to nest another for loop in there, huh?
Yeah.
Because that would give you access to the other iterator.
That J
Mm-hmm.
equals 0. This will just be 7. So we're going to go through all of it.
Mm-hmm. Here's a quick, I guess, theory question, right? So if we have 7 there on line 41, and that's hard-coded in there, What could you put in there to make it dynamic in reference to a specific array of the array of arrays? What could you put in there to make it dynamic?
Oh, the thing at I, the length of the thing at I.
Yeah, I think that'd be matrix at.
Matrix at I dot length.
Correct. All right, y'all, it's 8 o'clock. Let's be respectful of people's time. Lorelai's got to get a back rub from daddy to fall asleep. Otherwise, mommy's have to stay up all night. So we know how that turns out. So let's respect that, and let's make sure everybody gets their rest. Bath first. Yeah, bath first. Yeah. Yeah, Jade's got to fix some broken dinner. Dinner always seems to be broken at her house. And then Catherine's got to go watch Netflix and chill with the cat. So, and then Obeda, he's got to go get the other half of his face put on, because always just like right there. And we can figure out the rest of this tomorrow.
All
right.
See you tomorrow.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Thanks, Catherine.
Yeah.